Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wartscenter. It's not dead, it's here. And I'm joined today by the fan favorites, Coach Ivan, Coach Cody, and Coach Brando. How's everybody doing?
Bussin'.
Good. I'm doing fantastic, honestly.
Yeah. So obviously we've had a bit of a break. We take off every holiday season for about a month from our Blood Bowl League because people like to spend time with their families for some reason.
I mean, still pretty cringe if you ask me.
I went to 6 holiday parties in a week.
Yep.
Weirdos.
So
I would have gone to all 6 to avoid mine.
I think we all collectively agree. We want to go to yours now, Ivan.
Yep.
From the start,
Absolutely.
I want to go to yours.
Everyone, show up. Maybe it'll actually be fun next year.
All right, you got it. All right, next Friendsmas, we're raiding we're fucking crashing your family's Christmases.
Let's go.
Open invite.
Christmas
Open
at
invite,
Ivan's.
I'll put out
Open
the
invite.
address.
All right,
I'll
Chris-
cheat the
Okay, cool.
address.
Yeah,
We'll
Christmas at
crash it.
Ivan's. Make sure it's public. All right, but yeah, it's been about a month since we've played Blood Bowl, and then since you guys have seen Blood Bowl or Wartscenter, so I'm excited to get back into it. I hope you are as well. And then let's talk about. We've had a week of games that we've not talked about. We've got a week that's going to come up here. Well, if you're watching this today, so all right, week 6 scores. Uptow's chosen Grung takes on the SCLSU Mudclaws and defeats them 2-1. The Polypoor Pipers, in a stunner, defeat the Black Forest Guardians to keep their playoff hopes alive. Butchers Bay Dragons rout the New England Matriarchs 3-0. The Undaheim Mighty Rats and the Vermin Skulkers, the Rat Off, ends in a tie. No one rat got to be the big rat that day.
No one made any rules.
No one made any rules that day. The Khazad-dûn Dark Iron absolutely dismantle the Amazonian Snoo-Snoos 3-0. The Manhattan Mutant Mayhem and the Gloomstalker Dragonaires also put up a tie. And then in your marquee matchup, which you have seen about a month ago at this point, the Los Alamos Aliens take down the Lizards with Attitude, the only remaining undefeated team. So now there's none. Very good. Yes. The guys have found the soundboard, so look forward to that.
I promise that will be the only time I do it. I just felt that we needed to celebrate Coach.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Ended the undefeated season.
Like I told you, the soundboard can be a great addition. We just sparingly, please.
For both you and the audience.
Yep.
We are masters of self-control here, so we will absolutely be not abusing it at all.
Yeah, yep. I believe that. I believe that. Don't make me mute you. All right. Well, let's get into the matchups. SCLSU Mudclaws fall to the Uptow's chosen Grung in a tight divisional match. LSU gets one more casualty, but loses in the scoreboard. It's been a while since we've had these games, so I don't know if your all's memory is super fresh. Mine is definitely not. But it looks like Uptow came out with the quick touchdown and a quick casualty. Then Mudclaws rang back with a pair of casualties. And then Uptow put in the second touchdown, and it looked like it was all she wrote there. Anyone remember this game or catch it?
You pretty much described how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of from this one when I looked at it for the newsletter we do was I think if there's probably more time. I obviously didn't watch this match, but the Mudclaws did manage to come up. They're starting to get some momentum on the back end after going down 2-0. So usually one good turnover might make it a bit closer, but for a while there was looking almost like a shutout.
Yeah. Yep. And then going forward, like obviously the break's going to make everything a little different, but going forward, there's been a suggestion to reach out to the coaches the week of and have them kind of give a play-by-play that if just in case they're not on Wartscenter, we can share that. So that way there's a more comprehensive view of the matches. We will be doing that going forward, but with the break and holidays and everything, it's just a little weird. So
I'm going to approach them with a little notepad. I'll be wearing my newsboy hat with like a little card in the
Mister.
cap. Mister.
All right. But yeah, so Uptow, both of these teams are looking for postseason play. Uptow, it's not guaranteed, but it's a little more solidified with this win. And SCLSU, they're not guaranteed out yet, but it's starting to slip. So I think it comes down to one more game that goes poorly for the Mud Claws, and it looks like they may not make it. So, all right, and then another insane divisional match. This one, I believe, was also on stream just because of the way that the scheduling worked out. The Polypore Pipers defeat the Black Forest Guardians. My wife beat me.
You.
Yeah. So
how the roles would reverse.
Yeah. Yeah. It was rough. So she came into the match. She was short a treeman that was mixed next game, but was able to supplement it with Morg. And yeah, you see, Morg was very involved.
Morg doing things.
Yep. A lot of missed next games. I completely forgot I had my apothecary and just never used it. I don't know if that would have changed anything. But yeah, I mean, like, I probably maybe would have had a catcher in a dream at some point in the second half. So we'll see. It does leave me pretty short-handed next week. I've got a bunch of missed next games. But I mean, yeah, like the casualties, I believe this needs to be no. Did I get a bunch of casualties on her? Oh no, yeah, my second half I was starting to pop off. Oh, that's right. Never mind. I remember this game fully. Sorry, let me go back.
All coming back.
Yeah, no, I remembered how close this game was, because the reason that this ended up the way it was is because I was going for a win. I was getting greedy. Yeah, no. So she gets the casualty, she gets the early touchdown, right? And then my instant response was, okay, cool. We have to try to score in 4, and then we've got a game, right? So we run through and we try to make it happen. It doesn't work out. I end up losing the ball at the end of the half, and she scoops it and scores it because I was being way too aggressive trying to score on turn 8. Got a few casualties to like help make that a little bit nicer for me. And then in the second half, it's 2-0, and I'm like, okay, we've got some casualties. We can maybe tie, but we can maybe win too. So I go and score on 10. Yeah, I score in 10, and then by this point, she's really running low on players, and I kick it and try to I kick it and try to get it back from her. I end up getting it and start running into the end zone for the tying score. and this was on turn, I think, 13, 12 or 13. I'm able to almost get this score in, but it required a go for it. Failed to go for it, used the reroll, failed the reroll. So
classic.
Yeah, so turn 12, I try to stretch it a little too much, stack it. It bounces. Then she dodges out with Morg, picks the ball up with Morg, and then just runs around with Morg for 4 turns. And I keep trying to put like 4 assists in to beat the ball out of his hands. It just never happened. So I could have probably solidified my position up there, and actually kept her away for a turn, and then just done the tying score on the next turn, or even stalled it out for the tie if I was not thinking, well, after I kick this, she's got like 5-6 players left. All I would have to do is score again in like 3 more turns, and then I've won. But I should have played for the tie. So
in league play, playing for the tie is not always the worst thing. It's not fun, but like I think at this point you get 10 points, you're pretty much clinched. So
so you see 2-1, you think like the stall and the flip, like your standard 2-1 game of Blood Bowl. It wasn't that. It was it could have been a 2-2, and it was nearly a 3-2. Had that go for it not happened. So yeah, that was a exciting game, and it's on the stream. So there, I can only explain so much. We'll move on, but if you want to see it, I recommend go watch it. All right, the Butchers Bay Dragons just absolutely dismantled, put up a double goose egg on the New England Matriarchs.
Wild to see.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the
It was
Matriarchs
a
have
wild
had
game.
the Matriarchs have had a good run this season. So
And it was time to put them down.
yeah, I mean normally they get something right, and the Dragons, they've also been a little bit up and down, but they've been on the receiving end of this 0-0 before, so it's good to see them pick up some momentum here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it was all Dragons all the way down.
All dragons all the time.
Yeah, three casualties and the touchdown by turn 5. Another casualty before the half. Vanity pass. And then in the second half, just layering on the touchdowns.
I think I was
Ouch.
the only one there to see this game. I don't think any of you guys were there for this one. This was the
Was Monday?
normal stream. This was the Monday stream. This was the Monday, one of the Monday games.
Yep.
Yeah, I can contest. Like both coaches were giving it all, but God, the Matriarchs just were having just no luck. Like if they rarely broke the Butcher's Bay Dragons armor, and if they did, they were normally stunning. I think he may have even only had like a couple KOs the entire game, and they all came back almost immediately. And Butcher's Bay got a Kaz turn 1, so that immediate just put a numbers advantage, and it just kind of just cascaded that way. And yeah, it was both coaches played very, very well, but yeah, it's just sometimes you just can't get the numbers you're looking for, and it just doesn't make it any easier.
Yep. I'd say it's one of the few cases where Dark Elves are the more heavily armored team, and it definitely showed on the score sheet here.
The 3 bashes early, or the 3 removals early, and the Dark Elves are like a Swiss Army knife, so they definitely took advantage of the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. The tied affair between the Skulkers and the Mighty Rats. The one thing that doesn't look even is that casualty box. So the Skulkers leave with a tie, but they put in the hurt on the Rats. And it looks like most of those came fairly early, too.
Yeah, it looks like an all-out rat race.
Yeah, the 4 casualties all in by turn 10. And then no touchdowns until turn 12 from the Mighty Rats, and then the return score by the Skulkers just before the end of regulation. So
yeah, this was another one of those matches on Monday that was wild to behold. Yeah, the Vermin Skulkers got an early Kaz lead and were able to put like pressure on across the entire Mighty Rats team, and going in for like using the numbers advantage they had, they started going in for like really aggressive fouls. And it's like at one point the Vermin Skulkers was probably around, I think their turn, like it was like around probably turn 6 for the Vermin Skulkers. They were at the end zone, stopped. None of the Mighty Rats had caught them yet. He stopped and then decided to foul instead of score.
really,
Oh,
so this if this should have been more than likely, if he hadn't gone in for the hyper aggressive foul, should have been a 2-1.
wow.
Insane.
Yeah.
Wait, did they get sent off?
He got sent off too. Yeah,
What?
he got caught. Got sent off.
No.
That gave the and it wasn't the ball carrier that took him into the foul, but just like another, because there was basically a couple like clouds of rats all beating up on each other in midfield, and the Mighty Rats were making like semi breakaways to catch the Vermin Skulker's gutter runner that was at the end zone, but they weren't able to get to him in time, and by the time he had gotten there, but that turn of foul turnover allowed them to actually get there, knock down the ball carrier, and bring it back up the field, which is why you saw it being on the turn 12. And it was
Wow.
Wild.
so yeah. And
Well.
both coaches admitted it was still a very fun game. It was a good lesson learned from the Vermin Skulker coach, where he was just like, sometimes it's hard to deny that hunger, that feed. When you get that number, when you really start getting that heavy advantage, you just kind of want to start putting the boot in ridiculously for no other reason other than you kind of feel like you can.
Yep.
And it bites you in the butt sometimes.
Yep.
So
Sometimes Blood Bowl does punish the win more mindset. You go up and you try to win more. Sometimes you lose out on that. But yeah, so I think with this tie, it does eliminate the Skulkers from postseason. We'll talk about all the postseason situations here in a little bit, but I just want to call it out here because I know we've talked with the coach, and from what I understand, it believes the Skulkers may be back next year. So the
looking forward to it.
The redemption arc starts here shortly. So still a few more games to play, obviously, to build up that team for next season, but exciting stuff. So, all right, Cody, I got nothing to say. Why don't you talk about it?
Looks like that has got dark iron.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good game.
For you.
For you. It kind of speaks for itself, unfortunately. Got a really
I started blasting.
Pretty much, like turn 1 kill, and it just kind of rolled from there.
Yeah, 3 deaths.
4 deaths. Oh no,
Yeah,
3 deaths total. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
only two that you get credit for.
Oh God.
Let me get to there. Okay. So so the immediate early 3 Kaz lead resulting in a bomber touchdown, a lineman touchdown, because while on offense on the first, I chose to kick to him. He received. He shifted the ball up the field gently, kind of like constantly shifting around side to side, just so I couldn't immediately pin him down. And to be fair, he was doing right things. Like, he was disengaging from most of the players. He left a few of his linemen where they needed to be to actually lock down most of my team. But he disengaged where he could to help screen and protect and shift around. But it just kind of, that allowed him to ball handle and actually get into my half of the field on his offense. It ended up into a scrum, maybe 3 or 4 spaces past the line of scrimmage. And that resulted in the ball bouncing from his player to my player, off my player, onto another one of his players, then onto another one of my players that caught it. I started to run up the field. He blitzed that player. The ball got knocked out, bounced to his player, out of his player's, off his player because he failed, then to my lineman that got a nat 6. So that's how the bomber ended up with a touchdown by moving slowly down the field, just running away. And
blessed by Nuffle himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blessed by Nuffle.
And then it was. He ended up. Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, turn 11. Got one of his Tara Earthbreaker. His miss next game. He appoed it just to try to keep her in the game. I believe that is one of his Jaguar Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, or one of his more
it's one of the stronger guys.
4.
Yeah, the Earthshaker twins are both strength 4, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so that is why he purposely, the first 3 Kaz's, 2 of them being deaths, he let them go because he was like, I have to save my Appo for if any of my positionals go down. He used the Appo to try to bring Tara back in, and she missed. Luckily, she just missed next game. But within the same turn, Kara failed a dodge.
Mm-hmm.
He failed the
Amazonian.
dodge. The Amazonian failed the dodge, it was on a lineman, so he had to use the team reroll. Used the team reroll, failed it again, and then that was like a 10, an 11, 16 dead.
Oh,
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you look across the sheet, it's 3 dead, 4 missed next games or worse. So I believe the roster had 11. So
Yep.
7 of the 11 players are not even there next week. You're running...
He's running 8 journeymen, I believe.
yes,
7 or 8.
7 or 8, which
Nearly a whole team
it's
of
just
journeymen.
freaking brutal.
who's? Oh, we'll talk about it later. I was gonna
Yeah.
say whoever they're playing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep, and then
Oh.
both Earth Shakers are the strength 4 pieces, so most of your positionals are gone.
Yikes.
That's tough. That's real tough. But
Mhm.
hey, not statistically eliminated from playoffs, which we'll talk about.
It's
So
really funny.
so you can pull out some bullshit and still sneak in. So
And he's still
I
earned
believe
an
it's
SVP.
yeah, and I believe it's out of your control, but yeah. At that rate,
And
but
and he still earned an SPP with a throw.
I gotta throw off.
Amazing.
I was like, all right, hell yeah, bro, let's go.
Which I think there was also an MVP. I must have copy pasted, and that's not correct. But because there was not a concede, it was fully played through. But it's in the sheet somewhere. It's correct somewhere, just not there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Text.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Ivan, how'd your match go?
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Good old Buckna over there. He's quite the opponent. We had a good match. It was all clean, all kosher. He made some desperately bad decisions towards the end that stopped him from actually winning the match because he was playing a very good match, but he just couldn't follow through towards the end and get a pass off in time to get the game-winning touchdown, resulting in a tie. But otherwise, fairly uneventful.
Yeah. You brought out the pillow hands this week, I see.
Surely did, and not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
The dice were very cold for me that mad.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like nearly an entire half without a single casualty before the Dragonairs pulled one out.
Not for lack of trying.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Ooh, slash. Strength busted?
Yeah.
Busted / has been fired.
Slash has been fired.
Slash Junior has been hired.
Yep. Which, we'll talk about that with roster updates. So, yeah. Nice little tie. No win, no loss here. This was cross-divisional, right? So this was friendly.
This was friendly.
So, yeah. Not terrible. Slash's replacement is in the pipe.
No love lost, but Buckner, I know you're listening to this. Next time I see you, you're getting a warm hug.
It's on site.
It's on site.
It's on site.
All right. Excellent. And then, this was the match of the night. It's what the people wanted, and it's what we gave them. Brando, how'd your match go?
It went pretty well. Yeah.
For you.
For me, I say this going into any matchup. I mean, especially like a divisional one, a tie is acceptable just looking at it. Jesse has been doing amazing things this season, and I was just trying to play to survive, just do my best. I know in the stream there was some early turn mistakes that I made. If you go watch the stream, it was like I think around turn 4 with one of my big guys. But there was definitely a moment early in the first half that had a momentum shift, which resulted in Quill Duskrunner running, scooping the ball, and going in for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, because I kicked to him, so I was defending right away with that taken care of, and then just playing good defense for the remaining turns. All I had to do was score one more time, and then just avoid getting doubled out to tie it, and I pretty much could win. So the main takeaways from this one was the early turn momentum for me. And Zod actually popped off for once this season. So he's only listed for 2 casualties on this game, but in reality, he got a 2.5 sack. That crowd casualty was Zod.
Yeah.
I know we don't really track that because that'd be almost impossible to do. But Zod put in the work, and sources are scary. And one of those sources that I took out for next game is one of his guard sources. So
Wait, you took
that's
out Max Meller?
yeah,
Just
Wow.
badly hurt on Max Meller right at the rip.
yeah. That was big. There was a lot of the first 4 turns were tumultuous. A lot of hugging it out. Maybe I don't know how you want to put it, but there was definitely a turning point where Zod got that key removal. I got a pop out with the strip ball on Bishop. He's been very quiet this season, but this is the first time he actually did the strip ball. Popped it out, pushed it back, managed to go in, scoop it up, and score. And that, I mean, just playing good defense. But Jesse, I expect good things from him. All he needs to do, I think, is just win one more, and he's in. So if he goes in and I go in, we see each other again. I'm looking forward to a rematch. He says I'm his rival. I'm his kryptonite. We've only played twice.
Yeah.
And one of those was sevens. So I look forward to a rematch. He's been doing great things. And yeah, it was a good game.
Yep. So yeah, the last Titan falls at your hands yet again.
Oh, I'm expecting a loss in the next.
Here.
Yeah.
One of these 3 weeks coming up, I'm probably going to drop a game, and
Yeah.
that's as long as I can get in the playoffs. I don't care.
Yep. But yeah, Jesse was going to be here to debate and talk about the game with you, but feeling a little under the weather. There's something going around in our area. We're also in like a blizzard right now, so
Ew.
We are all locked in our houses.
Things are-
and we
yeah.
chose to talk about Blood Bowl.
Yep, things are great in the Northern Kingdom right now.
Winter has come.
Winter has come. All right.
No, nothing.
Okay, so from that, we'll move on and we'll talk about all of the players that are doing great things across the Northern Kingdoms. Overall, our league leaders in every category. Taking the gold, Alkadike Bright Moon for the New England Matriarchs. Although they came off of that loss, he's still leading the league with 28 SPP. Ubaldan Therer hops up with, I think, an MVP and I believe a touchdown or two. From the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron, he's now at 27, and then Oren Sap off of a rough game against the Pipers maintains the bronze at 26, with a whole host of boys going down the bottom. I think to make this more brief, I think we're just going to talk about the podium, and then you guys can pause if you want to and take a look at the rest of the list and see if your favorite player's on there. All right. On the scoring side of things, as far as touchdowns, everyone's on the list. Everyone's on the podium because our scorers are pretty narrow, it seems. A lot of the team's touchdown players are the ones that consistently score touchdowns. So in the gold, both of Uptown Chosen Grung's catchers, Titsa of the Sky and Timothy, both at 6. It looks like they're fighting within the organization to see who's going to come out on top by the end of the season. At 5, a pair of Khazad-dûm Dark Iron players, Ubaldan Therer, Yoron Sidrarius, and then the Black Forest Guardians for Stump, along with the Listers with Attitudes 2 Croc. And then in the bronze, Alkadike Bright Moon, Madeline Daredevil Murdoch, Taguchi Main, and Warpheus. They are knocking at the door to stay on that podium. All right. The interceptions category has not changed. Still just Sevius Lysar and Gilfin Sharp from week 1 with the pair of interceptions. And then in the passing category, Jolth Mammoth has finally come up to meet Gnarled Barkley. They are both sitting at gold with 7 passes. Underheim Mighty Rats' Slutch Keenbender is in the silver spot. And then Timothy right behind him at 5 in the bronze spot. And then on the other end of the passing stat, the catches, Forrest Stump still leads the league by a heavy margin with 6 catches. He unfortunately will be missed next game, so there is a chance that some of these players can catch up this week. Tits of the Sky, Dagalus, and Corpit Crowquest are right behind him at 3. And then in the bronze at 2 catches, Timothy, Stretch Sneak Claw, Stink Dustbuster, and Dorg Shadowwood. Then in the most murderous category, the casualties are headed up by a pair of players. Craven Slayer, the Rat Ogre from the Unheim Mighty Rats, and Chizakyo Izamata from the Dark Iron. Right behind him, Hopper, the big guy for the Ubtau's Chosen Grung. And then right behind him, another Khazad-dûm Dark Iron player, Bomber, who also, it's a lineman, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Who's also got himself a touchdown this week. So
Bomber's moving on up.
Yep. In the kill category, nobody wants the gold. Nobody wants 2 kills this year, I guess. But we have a whole host of 1 kill players. Which, yeah, too many to be named. I mean, well, Hopper, Bomber, Terrace, Nori, Rafe, North, Dory, Bogart, the Mighty Zug, star player. We could take him off, technically, I guess. I don't know if we want to keep star players on. Let us know if you want to see the star players on the stats. We can remove them, we can keep them. Sonya the Dancer and Cranton Ploker. Then in the foul category, Aliplex. She's trying to get yes. the 3. I was gonna say I knew this week going in. I was like, I will not misgender Aloplex. I swear to God, I will not do it to her for 6 weeks in a row. Still sitting at top with her 2 fouls. Farmer Fran and Vicky Valancourt are also sitting there at 2 fouls. The SCLSU Mudclaws, very foul frenzy it seems, and very foul successful. And then right behind him in the silver, Coach Klein, Taguchi Main, El Cochijo, Baxter Stockman, Sail Switchfinger, a Journey Dwarf from the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron, and then Toxeris from the Matriarchs. All right. It's been a long time, but now we got to talk about the obituaries. And for this set of obituaries, we can do all of the funerals in Lustria, as they were all from the same team. So this year, or this week, we remember Cug Rockgrip, the Python warrior from the Amazonian Snooze News. Rest in peace. Kara Earthshaker dodged her way into her grave. Jaguar warrior blocker from the Amazonian Snooze News. And Lulu Stormfang, an Eagle warrior linewoman from the Amazonian Snooze News.
We did it at the same time.
Wow.
Whoa.
One brain cell shared between all of us. I assure you. Oh, that's gonna sound real good next to the depressing music I put with that. Anyway.
Ear warning.
Yeah.
It's in stereo.
Yes. Now we're into our extra period, the reserve box. And this week I sent out some feelers and let people give me their brackets for playoffs. We are 3 weeks out from the postseason. There is some players who have clinched. There's some who are eliminated, and then there's obviously the middle ground. But I wanted to see who people thought would get in, and who do we think at this point in the series is going to take the whole thing. So we'll start with this is mine. This was mine. So
I had want a chance to get revenge on your wife.
Yeah, maybe. No, I
still not get it apparently.
Yeah. No. This is my claim right here. This is what's gonna happen, right? Pipers are gonna sneak into that number 4 seed, right? And then that combination of wrestle against a wrestle jump up against the block no jump up is gonna allow them to outmaneuver these Dark Iron and pull up the biggest upset of the year, right? Then the aliens take out the matriarchs, but the Polypore Pipers take out the aliens. And then on the other side, the Grung defeat Liz's Attitude. The Guardians beat the Dragons, then the Guardians beat the Grung. And then, in the rematch, the Pipers destroy me again. And no one ever saw it. They come in halfway through the season, they win the whole thing. That's what I'm saying.
You're looking for the Cinderella story.
This is the Cinderella story. This is the way it goes down. My wife takes the whole thing. She's season 4 champ.
This is absolutely believable because I mean we've talked about it before on streams, but if you're tier 3 and manage to sneak into the playoffs, you're probably going to do well just because of the TV difference between teams, and that goes a long way. Yeah. Like I could totally see them beating me if I get that far. Yep. I could see it.
Who knows?
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. This was one sent in by Coach Holloway. So he's got the Mighty Rats taking the number 4 spot and the Pipers being left out. Dark Iron defeat the Mighty Rats. The Chosen Grung defeat the Guardians. The Grung then defeat the Dark Iron to make it to the final game. And then on the other side, the Lizards with Attitude take on the Matriarchs and get their win. The Dragons lose to the Aliens, and then the Aliens beat the Lizards with Attitude. And then your final, Aliens, Uptail's Chosen Grung, and Holloway thinks he's got it all. There it is, the Uptail's Chosen Grung for the championship.
Could see this happening too. Honestly,
they got the firepower. They can do it.
Yep. I will say, I think if that plays out, the toughest matchup's probably that Dark Iron one. You gotta survive it.
Yeah.
But those catchers are slippery. So
there's one key difference here, though. The Dragons wouldn't be there. The Manhattan Mutant Mayhem would, and then they would lose to the Aliens.
Yep. So this one, and I believe the previous one has no mayhem on either of those so far.
Everyone underestimates the mutants.
Ivan,
yep.
Ivan, just wait. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's Holloway's bracket. So thank you for your submission. I like seeing all the different scenarios, and I'm really excited to see once we actually get a definitive lay of the land. We'll probably actually do a bracket once it's finalized. We'll probably send out a bracket. I'll make a PDF that people can download and like just send in. or just send in their actual bracket. Like I'll give the email for this channel, and we'll just and then we can talk about them all and just leave it open to whoever wants to do a bracket, and then we can see who is the most correct by the end of everything. Just like March Madness, you know.
It will be around March.
It will be March Madness.
It will. Oh my god! It literally will be. Oh no.
There it is. It just writes itself. All right. So, Brando, you want to talk about your bracket?
Sure. Ivan, hey, look, there you are.
Yep.
I made it.
You lose. Okay. A couple things, really quick. So, as far as I'm aware, I know we haven't talked about it just yet, but Dragons could technically not be removed because they've clinched. So they're
correct.
So regardless, they're in. They're a good team. I expect a lot of good things. However, I think I'll beat them. Only because I saw how they did against another redrafted team. I know they don't want to play me. So if this is the actual bracket, I think it'll be a good game. I don't want to lose to them in the playoffs ever again. So we'll see.
A little history between those two coaches.
He does
just a little.
keep holding it over your head.
Yeah, he lives rent free in my head, man. I get it.
Hey, season 1 finals.
Oh God. Just in general, I don't do too well against Coach Josh, but hey, I do my best. But I honestly can't. I only let the current standings sit for the blood division. I have no idea how that tiebreaker is going to fall, so I just left it alone. But I could see the Matriarch sneaking in because they do get to play the snooze, and you still have some tough matchups between. I want to say it's the Mud Claws, and you play Josh. You play the Dragons as well, so you have some tough matches. But I still think you could probably get in. So that's on that side of the bracket. On the other one, I do think Laws will sneak in. I think he's had a bit of a downturn at the start of the season, but I think just a couple of wins and he could easily see himself higher in the seeding. But just dropping one game but winning another, he should still find himself in. And then Grung, Guardians, I expect great things. Now, really quickly, I won't go over stats too much. I'll just say this. Kaza Dude, Dark Iron are putting up GOAT numbers. Okay? It's not even close, guys. I'm sorry.
We need a GOAT leading on the soundboard.
So really quick, I did a quick breakout of the stats. Just a quick recap for them. For divisional games, for touchdowns per game and casualty per game, they're number 1. For league total offense, touchdowns 4 per game and casualties 4 per game, they're number 1. They're tied with a couple other teams, specifically Liz's and Uptow for scoring, but they can keep pace per game with some of the faster, high-scoring Lustrian teams. And the league total defense, they are number 1. They are number 1 for touchdowns against per game, along with Liz's per attitude with attitude. So both previously number 1. Well, I think they're both still the 1 seed in the divisions, but both 1 seed defenses, he ties with them. And then casualties against per game, he is unmatched. He is number 1. So we've seen them make it all the way to the playoffs and the championship before. That was a wonderful game. Probably one of our best championship matches, period. I know Coach Cody was there last season, and that was a tough one. That was a tough pill to swallow, but expectations were he would win it. I think just statistically, he's putting up great numbers. I know I beat him, and I know we didn't get to talk about it, but that was kind of a fluky, should have been a tie, could have gone either way sort of win. And in playoffs, that can definitely happen. But just looking at the numbers, looking at the road to victory for getting that far, it's hard to say it's not him, really. And I know we say that every year, but like these are some good numbers. He is him until he faces me. So this is my realistic expectation for how it should go. However, my personal expectation is I win, but
yeah,
we'll see how it falls.
Never bet against yourself, guys. That's my policy.
Yeah,
Unless you're looking to throw a game and you're gambling.
Yeah, that's fair.
we don't get it. Yeah,
I don't get me wrong. I appreciate the up talk, Coach Brando. But I've always stood by the stance that no matter how good your overall record is and how dominant your team seems to be, one game to the other can be drastically different. The game,
absolutely.
like overall record, it's like any one person could beat another person. Like it's not. Nothing is set in stone, no matter how seemingly strong or terrifying a team is. I mean, dice giveth and dice taketh away. It's
especially with this format, like the playoff format here,
a longer format.
It's losing, you're out, right? So it's
like
a one game
and done. That's it.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's one and done. It's one and done, and and now we have an extra round. We previously only did a 14 playoff. So your path to victory was 2 wins, and now it's 3, no matter where you end up on the seed. So
yeah, it's a long path. I think you can grind it out.
Oh yeah.
I will say, like you said, any team could potentially lose in playoffs. We saw Queen City season 1 undefeated lose to Guttersburg, who ended up winning the whole thing.
Yep.
And Underheim in season 2, they had a really good record. They were a high flying offense then. They were in season 3. They got booted in the first round. So my expectations for you are high, I agree.
They were Coil Cup winners season 2. Which for those of you that aren't familiar with Northern Kingdoms, we have an award for best regular season record, just like how soccer does it with the support, like the shield. I don't know. I'm not good with MLS stuff, but there's a regular season trophy called the Coil Cup for the best record. All right. Great. Next up, Cody, you want to talk about your bracket?
Okay, so this is my bracket, and I had put it something similar to. I'm seeing a lot of positional, I'm seeing Ivan slip in. I'm seeing the Pipers stay in. I'm putting myself beating the Pipers, and then the Aliens versus Obtow, I think is going to be a great game. Have you guys gone against each other this season yet?
Nope, I've never played Holloway. I don't know how that would even go. Yeah, I don't.
I want this, honestly. I just want to see this game.
You just want to see it happen.
I want to see this game.
Is that the 2 seed then for me? Is that what that is?
You would be the 3rd seed.
I'd be the 3 seed. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm currently the 3. Okay. Yeah. That can happen.
I think.
Seeing you locking into roughly the position. A lot of my picks are some people shifting up or down, maybe 1 or 2 spaces, but mostly people locking into where they are currently sitting. Specifically, your guys' division. think it's mostly going to be, probably going to be locked in the next couple games. Things can shift, but I see it like a soft lock. But
Yes.
yeah, and then I would put you in your match against Chosen Kronk. I'm gonna put on you. You're the only coach that's beaten me this year. I think you're one of the few coaches that can, or one of the few teams that can actually do pretty well with him, swing with him, and just be a good opponent for him. And I think it's gonna be very close. I'm gonna put you. When it comes to you against me, I have to go me. It may very well may be different, but I have to believe that this will not be a repeat of our match this season.
Gotta bet on yourself.
I have to bet on myself. I'm never not going to bet on myself.
Yeah.
And then across the board, yeah, I got Liz's with attitude going against the aliens. Ivan, I believe in you.
See, someone does.
And then you're
I
going to
did
lose.
too.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
And you're going to lose immediately.
Everyone has me. If I make it in, I lose immediately.
You made it in the playoffs.
To be fair, everyone that has you, they do have you at the 4 seed, so it is the toughest matchup for you each time.
It is.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I have Josh going against you, Coach Guardian. I think Coach Guardian, Guardian. I think that again is also going to be a really good match. I mean, your 2 elf teams and 2 of I believe we were talking about this earlier, was 2 elf teams that are on the 2 of the few arguably bashy potential elf teams. Him from his ability to have the frenzy and blitzer pieces and his stab pieces, which unfortunately are going to be worthless against your full 10 armor team. So while your 2 teams are going to be able to bash with each other, it's just going to come down to, will his offensive skills override your overall just excessive defensive high armor that your team has? So it's
it's an interesting matchup. It's not on the schedule for me to play Josh, so I hope it happens in postseason, because
I want it to happen. This is another one I want to see happen.
I'm very interested in that match. I haven't seen Josh in a few seasons, so I believe we literally played each other season.
Was it 2?
1? I don't know.
1?
I don't know if we've played each other since season 1.
Wait.
We played season 2.
Season 2. I think it's season 2, because Guttersburg was in. It was divisional play. Oh no, that was a friendly. But you were in my. You played him in a friendly.
Maybe, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What the look?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have
It's
to
been
look,
a while.
but I know. I haven't seen. He wasn't on the schedule season 3, and he wasn't on the schedule season 4. So, it's been a few years. So
maybe more of this is partially who I think is going to be playing in the playoffs, but also who I think I would like to see. The matches I think would be awesome to see personally.
Yeah.
These are all great matches.
Yeah. And then the finals, I'm going to go me against the Liz's with attitude, and it's going to be a slug match, but I'm going to take it this year, guys. I'm going to... God damn it! Third time's a charm.
Dog, if you lose, I'm afraid we're gonna have to put you on suicide watch. Someone's gonna have to stay up with you.
If I lose again,
be careful with that word, Ivan.
Yeah.
Sorry, demonetized.
Yeah, we can't talk about the sewer slide.
The sewer slide, bro.
It's broken. YouTube says it's not very fun.
Oh, well,
when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles eat their pizza and go down the sewer slide.
Yeah.
There you go.
We have to make sure Cody doesn't follow them down the sewer slide if he loses again.
Exactly. If I lose again, all I can say is I'm going to be...
You would be like the Blood Bowl equivalent of the 90s Buffalo Bills. And I would feel that would be very sad. That would be rough, man. I'll give you a hug for that one.
Yeah. But third time's the charm.
I would be content with just making it to the championships. That's the honest goal I've set for myself. Is if I make it to the championships,
that's awesome
with me. That's yeah.
Yeah.
If I make it to the championships a 3rd time in a row, I'm content with that.
Yep. Very good. All right. This one is from our commissioner. So
Ooh.
this one's
It's got some
spicy.
interesting. Yeah, I was about to say
Whoa.
very interesting.
This one's spicy
spicy.
because this
Hold on a
one
minute.
this
Okay,
one
okay.
sees this one. Yeah, this one sees. Oh, did we? No, that's right. Yeah, this one sees the aliens coming up to the number 1 spot. The Lizzas in second, Guardians in third, and then Piper sneaking in that 4th spot. And then on the other side, it would be the Dark Iron, then the Dragons, then the Matriarchs and the Grung. So, very interesting. But it's got Dark Iron beating the Pipers. So it seems like a lot of people want this match. This is, I think, the 3rd time it's been in a bracket.
I think maybe we'll just assume this match. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Pipers got away. They got a ways to go if they want to get in, but they are currently in.
Yeah.
But they do have. There's a little bit of people standing in their way that they gotta take on. So we'll see. And then the Liz with Attitude take on the Matriarchs. They've got the Matriarchs winning, pulling off the what I would consider, I think, the upset there. Which I don't know if they've played each other. I don't
He
believe
played
so.
the mud. He's played the Mud Claws, right? Did he win?
The Matriarchs,
I'm
I
gonna-
believe. I don't know.
No. I think he won because I remember sitting next to him. No,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he won.
So then, yeah, he's got experience with the Lizards, so it makes sense.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yep.
2-1 week 2.
Bam, there you go.
Okay.
The Aliens going up against the Uptel Chosen Grung, who have, I guess, slipped to the 4 seed in this prediction. Aliens take the victory, and then the Dragons beat the Guardians. Again, a match that I'm really interested in seeing. But this one, goes the Dragons' way. Then the Dragons beating the Aliens in that season 1 championship rematch. And then on the flip side, the Dark Iron beat the Matriarchs. And then we find ourselves in a Dragons versus Dark Iron championship in which the Dragons are predicted by the commish to win the whole thing. So good. So we've got Pipers, we've got Dragons, we've got Dark Iron. Did we have any other so far champions? Projected
Listed
champions.
From just now.
Just from
'Cause I
so
think
far. Well, there's more coming.
Uh,
I'm just trying to keep in my head what.
Oh, here I can write it down. I think we have 2
Oh, we
Dark
don't.
Iron, 1 Piper, and 1
Yeah.
Chosen
I
Grung.
don't need to know the
And this
numbers.
one.
Oh yeah, Grung. Sorry, and then Grung. So those
that
are
was the second one.
those are the
So a
4
good
so
mix.
far.
A good
We have
mix.
large, yeah, we have
Yep.
a large
Yeah.
selection. Yeah.
All right.
This is spicy. I like this
Yeah,
one.
these are
There we
good.
go.
And then this one comes from Dimitri Lunn, who you may have heard in the Cabal Vision broadcasts. He does the pregame for us every once in a while. So he's got the Dark Iron and the Guardians facing off at first in the rematch of the season 2 finals, and the Guardians taking the win there. And then the Liz with Attitude and the Grung facing off, the Grung taking the win there. The Back Force Guardians lose to the Uptel's Chosen Grung to make it to the finals. And then on the flip side, somehow Underheim sneaks into the number 1 seed.
No, it's totally doable.
No, I mean
Definitely possible.
it's possible. That's why it's funny.
Our division's so goofy.
Yeah, the Anaheim slips into the number 1 seed, plays the Mayhem, beats them. Sorry, Ivan. Apparently, no one's got any faith for you in these playoffs.
Well, I will disagree with one thing. I will never lose to those dirty rats.
Oh,
We shall
rematch.
see. Now I hope it plays out exactly like this.
Me too.
Yeah. The Dragons take on the Aliens, just because I want to see that match now. The Dragons take on the Aliens and then beat the Aliens. And then the Mighty Rats in the brotherly shove of matches. The Mighty Rats take on the Dragons and beat them. And then in the finals, Uptel's Chosen Grung and the Anaheim Mighty Rats. The Mighty Rats win the whole thing to be the first back-to-back champions of the
That'd be
Northern
wild.
Kingdom's Blood Bowl League. We've never had a back-to-back champion. So
That'd
Yep.
be insane, especially after their start.
that would be wild considering how they began. So it's a pipe dream, but hey, it's doable. It exists.
What is to live but to not dream?
Yep. And then this one comes from Commissioner Def Krumpa, also an in lore character of our league.
What do you mean? I just talked to him.
Yeah.
He's a real guy.
He's quite a character, is what I meant. They have Dark Iron beating Elizabeth Attitude in round 1. The Undheim Mighty Rats taking that number 2 seed. Or no, I guess technically it'd be number 3 seed. Sorry, the way the bracket works, it's got me a little confused. So the 2s and 3s might be flip flopped every here and there, but
No, I think that is the 2 because the Dragons are 2 currently.
yeah, because the matchup is what's projected.
Yeah,
it's Blood 1 versus Bull 4, and then Bull 4 versus Bull 1 versus Blood 4, and then 2 and 3 on this side
it's flipped.
Blood. It's flipped. But anyway, the matchups are correct. It's just I think the 1, 2, 3, 4 might be a little jockeyed. But anyway, then the Dark Iron and Mighty Rats face off in a rematch of the season 3 finals. The Dark Iron take their victory there. The Polypore Pipers make it to the number 1 seed.
That is possible.
That is possible. Yep.
It is. It is.
Yep.
You know, I changed my mind.
It's possible, and you're laughing.
Yeah.
I changed my mind. I want this one.
Yeah. The Pipers make it as the number 1 seed and then play the Matriarchs. Unfortunately, they lose to the Matriarchs. The Dragons play the Guardians. I think that match just happens because it's just there. It's always there in that corner. Dragons, Guardians. This time, however, for the first time, Guardians get a win in postseason, it looks like. Then fall to the Matriarchs, and then you get your Dark Iron Matriarchs matchup in which the Dark Iron take the championship. All right, and I think we have one more bracket before we move on to other things.
Oh.
This one comes to us from Dragons Fan 555. And he believes the Dragons will beat the Dragons in the semis, and then the Dragons will beat the Dragons in the semis. Then on the other side, the Dragons will beat the Dragons, and then I think the Dragons are going to beat the Dragons.
That doesn't account for the Dragons in the number 1 seed.
Yeah, Dragons number 1 seed and number 4 and number 3 and number 2. Incredible stuff, really. And then in the finals, the Dragons beat the Dragons beat the Dragons, and then your actual final, the semifinal, then the final, the Dragons play the Dragons, and the Dragons emerge victorious as the champion. So this is an interesting outcome. I would be stunned, I think, to see this.
Stunned, perplexed, absolute fucking fever dream. I'm here for it.
Yep. So there it is. Dragons Fan 555. Thank you for your submission.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful stuff. Really great. All right. So now we've got a new divisional look at things. My other sheet was pulled from the Excel sheet I keep, and admittedly it was extremely busy, and I apologize for making y'all look at that for 6 weeks. But I figured
Don't forgive you. I was like,
people might want to see the points, and they might want to see like how many touchdowns everyone's scoring and casualties. And I'm like, no, too much. All right, we need to talk about it's getting into playoff time. We need to talk about 2 things. We need to talk about the points that everyone has in the division. We need to talk about their standing, and then we need to talk about possibly touchdown casualty differential, and then head-to-heads, which aren't on here, but we know them, and those will get ironed out as the season progresses. So right now, we have in the Blood division leading the top, and Y, with the Y means they've clinched playoffs. Not until you see a Z, they have not clinched their seed. But the Butcher's Bay Dragons and the Khazad-dûm Dark Iron have clinched playoffs. They will be in the postseason. Even though Dark Iron is currently in first, they are not guaranteed to be in first. But with a win this week, I believe they get there. And then just below that, we've got a 3-way tie at 6 points between the Grung, Mayhem, and Matriarchs. Now, the funny thing with this is there's head-to-heads, right? But the way the head-to-heads work is they've all beaten each other. Every opponent in that three-way tie has beaten one and lost to the other. So it was like an infinity loop of who wins the head-to-head. Which in our tiebreaker sheet, it goes based off of the combined the match results for all three of the matches against each other. So it currently shakes out this way, where the Grung are ahead, then the Mayhem, then the Matriarchs. Leading the pack at the end, the SCLSU Mudclaws are on the outside looking in. They're in the hunt for postseason, and then the Snoo not technically eliminated because they could still end up. They have 2 games to play. They could still end up at 6 points, and some other things that have to happen, but they could find themselves in, I believe, that number 4 spot. So interesting division. Over on the other side, the Blood division, we've got a technical tie for first with the Elizabeth Attitude and the Black Forest Guardians. However, that head-to-head happened week 2. The Elizabeth Attitude won, so they are the number 1 seed currently. Neither of those teams have clinched playoffs. However, with a win in their next divisional, they will clinch. The Los Alamos Aliens are knocking on the door. Could still be number 1 seed with 7 points. The Polypore Pipers are currently in with 6 points. Could also get the number 1 seed with a pair of games to go that are divisional. The Mighty Rats are at 5 in the hunt. They could also technically get the number 1 seed. The Bull division's very tight. The Gloomstalker Dragonaires are at 4 points. They can get in, but they are currently in the hunt. And then, unfortunately, the first eliminated team in the playoffs with their most recent tie, the Vermin Skulkers, will have to wait until next year to play past week 9. But we'll see them in a bowl game that they'll get to participate in. So there's a lot to play for still for the Skulkers. And then if they do redraft, obviously that the money that they earn and the SPP that they earn, they will be able to take with them next season. So tough luck this year, but there's always next year for Blood Bowl. So but yeah, one division's starting to get itself figured out with a crazy 3-way tie. The other it's very fluid. So all right, let's talk about power rankings. So this is all the analysts' power rankings as we go forward. Now the Dark Iron have fully solidified themselves at the de facto number 1 by all analysts' predictions. And then there's been some shifting around across the board. Just at a glance, Elizabeth Attitude, after taking that loss, looks like they've dropped in a few people's eyes. The Guardians, even though they took a loss, have come up. Not sure how that one works. The Aliens are being favored by Aggie. He sees him at number 3. Everyone else is a little bit more bullish on him. Dragons take a unanimous jump. Dragonaires take a unanimous jump. And then some mixed feelings. And then the Snoo and Pipers drop, given last week's performance, even though the Pipers won. So, all right. So we're going to run through all of the updates. Unless you guys have anything to talk about with power rankings, I can go back.
It's fine.
It's been so long. I don't even know how to do this anymore.
I'm okay with it.
Yep.
No,
Cool.
I'm fine.
No, I'm just messing. But
I just think it's funny how.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What do we get? What's Mayhem looking like here? Aggie thinks you're up at 8.
I mean,
Boomer's a little down on you, and then Lucy is a little down on you. But I mean, you're still sitting in that middle of the pack. It makes sense.
Still single digits across the board.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no, it's truly not that interesting.
All right. So in our number 14 spot, they have dropped 4 points. The Amazonian Snoo. Woof. 3 dead have been removed from the roster. 4 missed next games. 5 missed next games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 missed next games. They're carrying 8 journeymen next week.
You hate to see it.
Tough. That's tough. 770 TV. It's an uphill fight. Polypore Pipers down 1 from last week. They'll come into the next game healthy. But Cuervo has gotten his sprint. I know the Pipers coach really loves sprint foxes, and in league play, it's on a secondary, so it's hard to get, but sure enough, she's got it. Rerolls count go up to 5, so very reroll heavy, which could be good for this risk reward team. And then the Apothecary gets picked up to help hopefully keep Cuervo alive, I assume. All right, the Mighty Rats fall down a slot after they're tied to the Skulkers. They've picked up Bazrin Tusk Runner, the Gutter Runner. They are going to be missing Coven Striker, the big hand lineman, and then Spleepus Falgash will be out this week. So they're at 1250 as they try to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Vermin Skulkers will come out into the next match healthy. Squeak Spinetail, their blitzer picked up guard, so that'll be helpful as they start to get some power under them. They've also picked up their third reroll, so a lot more consistency coming from these Skulkers, I would assume. The Gloomstalker Dragonaires make a massive jump from last place to 10th in the power rankings. No changes unless anything has changed over the break, but they don't take any advancements, and they haven't lost anybody, so they're going to be sitting at 13-20 in their next match. Manhattan Mutant Mayhem, as we heard from earlier, has fired Slash due to an injury, and Slash Jr. comes in as a new lineman. Bebop will be missing in the next game, but Zog and Splinter both pick up a pair of skills. Zog's got Fend, Splinter's got Wrestle. Leon, the Chaos Blocker, will pick up Block. And then Leatherhead picks up Juggernaut. So a lot of advancements from the Mayhem. A lot of mutation as they go and try to get more wins under the belt.
We got plans.
Yep. Overall power ranking drops down 3, but chance to change that in the coming weeks. The Butcher's Bay Dragons pop up in the rankings 1. They pick up a runner, Charlie Bread. He will join the team. And then Shanleo Cunningham picks up Fend and Frenzy, while Wilbert D. Robert picks up Strip Ball. And then Madeline Daredevil Murdoch, the Witch Elf, will pick up Mighty Blow. So starting to turn on, I think, this Dark Elf team. They're starting to get a lot of the core skills that you would want, and it's going to be nasty here soon. The Los Alamos Aliens stay steady.
Frozen in time.
In rank 7. DMX, unfortunately, will be missed next game. Other than that, they'll be healthy. And then Puke Nukem, the recently acquired troll, picks up guard. So they're up to 1405 TV as they look to stamp their ticket to the playoffs. All right, the Black Forest Guardians jump up 2 somehow, even though losing to the Pipers. I don't know how this goofy thing works, but Pines Ward picks up Dodge. So we've got a second Blodge blocker to help us try to get something done. But we'll come into this next week a little short-staffed, as Barkscar the thrower, Forrest Stump the catcher, and Terry Treehead the catcher will all be missed next game. A lot of ball handling positionals will be gone for this next match. But Trunk Debunk, the lineman, picks up tackle. Not sure it'll really be helpful for this next match, but and with a few agile teams floating around, eventually I think that will be a good skill for a lineman. All right, the New England Matriarchs drop 1 in the ranking, and they have picked up a thrower. We have not caught her name, but I'm sure we will learn it within time. Alkadike Bright Moon picks up a pair of skills, diving tackle and leap. So the Blitzers are starting to become the show of the team, as they've been pretty much all year. Toxaris will be missed next game, as well as Kara. But Vicky picks up blocks, so 1 Blodge lineman to help lead the New England Matriarchs to the playoffs. The Mudclaws pop up 1 in the rankings, but Mama is missing next game. So the Mudclaws are going to have to try to stamp their playoff ticket without their Croxagore and one of their Skinks. So it's going to be a tough road, but other than that, no other advancements. So it's do or die for the Mudclaws. So I'm sure they would love to have that Crocs, but I think with 6 Sauruses and a host of Skinks, there's still fuel in the tank for this Lizardman team. The Lizard with Attitude hired a Saurus. We didn't catch his name. I believe one got fired. It was a guard Saurus, correct, Brando? Maybe.
Perhaps.
I had to find my
Perhaps.
mic.
You're right. You're right.
No.
I was scared. I was like, did we
I
just
don't
go
think it was-
offline?
No, I had to mute myself for a second.
Okay.
I don't think it was. I mean, I don't see guard.
Yeah, I believe someone got
Did he
fired.
fire the guard one?
Yes, I believe
Hold
because
on.
it got strength
Strength
busted,
busted,
or movement busted or something.
Hakan number 6 was fired.
Yeah.
And looking at his roster, his block guard Saurus was Gekross.
Yeah, Gek Ross. He will be missed next game. So
He's missed next game.
brand new source comes
Yep.
in. We don't know his name just yet, but I'm sure we'll learn it. And then we'll be out. Gek Ross. Rank stays at 3, and they're in a position they just need to tidy up the end of the season, and they're in. So in the number 2 spot, the Uptown Chosen Grug stay. Titsa of the Sky picks up Sure Feet. So sprint, Sure Feet, block, dodge, you name it, they have it. Them catchers are going to score. So
Someone eliminate this frog.
the NKBBL refuses to comment on whether or not there's a hit out for Titsa. All right, and then at your number 1 spot, still at the number 1 spot, the Dark Iron appear to not have made any advancements. I'm sure there are some. Just by the time that I updated the sheet, they had not been made. But I can imagine there are some predictable moves depending on how much SPP you guys have. What's changed, but we'll talk about those as we move on. All right, week 7 is upon us, and you will be catching that tonight. Not actually tonight, but tonight when this goes up.
No, tonight.
Tonight. Oh God, that's not good. I don't think we're allowed to drive right now.
Blizzard stream.
Yeah. Anyway, the Uptown's Chosen Grung will take on the Amazonian Snoo. The Black Forest Guardians will take on the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem. Bring it, Ivan.
Ditto.
Hell yeah. The Polypore Pipers are going to take on the Vermin Skulkers in a divisional match. The Los Alamos Aliens and the New England Matriarchs will clash. The Butcher's Bay Dragons and the Gloomstalker Dragonaires will have a Dark Elf mirror match. The Lizard with Attitude will take on the Undheim Mighty Rats in a divisional match that has major playoff implications for both teams. And then the match that you will see is the SCLSU Mudclaws taking on the Kaza Doom Dark Iron. Lizardmen versus Dwarves. Both casualty happy in different ways. The Mudclaws love to get it done on the fouls. Dark Iron love to get it done the old-fashioned way with fists. It'll be a good one to watch. But before we talk about that one, we got to get through the other games. So let's talk about the Grung versus the Snoo. The line is set to the Grung at a 1.5 touchdowns, and the Grung are favored by all analysts. The SPP differential is massive here. 600, and I'm bad at math. 650, right?
1420.
640. No.
650.
650. Good Lord.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Banks open in Lustria.
That all being said, I'm handing this one to the Grown. I'm guessing 2-0.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm slamming the over on this real hard. I understand there's a huge amount of inducement money here, and that could be used for lots of nasty things. But the brothers Timothy and Titsa. This high-scoring,
Frog.
they're unstoppable frogs,
Yeah.
fast and leaping and dashing and darting. And I
Yeah.
mean, it might be a very bloody game where half their team gets eliminated, but like Ivan said, I think it's going to be 2-0, or at least a 2-scored lead. This is their chance to punch their ticket a second season in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The Snoo Stew are spiraling after a walloping last week.
Yep.
Or last month, I guess technically.
Yeah.
The Snoo Snoos need to do their homework on inducements, but it's going to be an uphill battle regardless. You have way too many journeyman line women and not positionals, which stinks.
Yep.
But a good star package or whatever inducements might help turn the table. But it's hard. I can't say anything else besides Grung.
Yep.
Hippity hoppity. The W
Hippity hoppity.
is the Grung's property.
I mean, yeah, like you've got 8 loner 4+ players. You've got 1 blitzer, and then 2 linemen that don't have loner, and that's it. Like that's all. That's
so much loner.
Yep, that's tough,
Oh.
and I don't think $600,000. It only buys you half a team. So
like he's gonna get some fabulous inducement ability and like some great star player potential with that money, but it's gonna be even with like some of the best star players in the game, it's gonna be a long trudge up.
I think obviously I'll take this, but Amazon has a rare opportunity to make it hurt. In the inducement game, so we'll see. All right. The Black Forest Guardians take on the Manhattan Mutant Mayhem. The line is set super tight. Manhattan Mutant Mayhem favored by 0.1. Aggie's with you. He knows what you are as a coach. He's been there for you season 2. He thinks you're going to win it. The others, Boomer and Lucy, think the Guardians are going to take it.
You know, that's cute and all, but I will beat you.
We'll see.
I'm going to beat you by a whole touchdown.
Okay.
This ain't no tie. Now, you may get more Kaz's on. Actually, no, I'm going to get more Kaz's than you, too. I'm setting myself up for success.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
now when I lose horribly, you can just, like, play this song.
And check. 1 hour 17 minutes time stamp. Anyway,
okay. No reason.
Just no reason. Just
bulletin board.
This one's for me.
Yeah, I agree that it's going to be a tight match. I'm not looking forward to facing you, in all honesty, but I think we're going to give a hell of a show.
Yep, it's going to be a bash heavy match for sure. I'm missing one of my throwers. I've got no catchers, so it's just meat slapping meat. I think at this point, only
just like us on Christmas. I mean,
just like Christmas.
Just like
I've only got 90K, so it doesn't really afford me much. And I'll be carrying 3 journeymen, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
This is one of like the few times Ivan outspeeds his opponent, just because those catchers are nasty, and missing both of them is, I think, going to be critical on how this game plays out.
Yeah, I mean, at movement 5 across the board, it's going to feel bad, but we'll see. Edge 2, I don't know.
You can try.
I can play the game.
This is a game that we play.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
I can mess with the bulls, and we'll see if I get the horns. You know,
Get the horns.
And Lord knows we have horns.
Yes, lots of horns.
Especially that
Lots of
Minotaur.
horns.
Yep. Yeah, and then Leatherhead. That's going to be a big problem. That's going to be a big problem. But hey,
For you.
for me. All right, the Polypore Pipers take on the Vermin Skulkers. Polypore Pipers are favored by half a touchdown. And the analyst Aggie thinks Pipers are going to take it, as well as Boomer. And then Lucifer has his money on the Skulkers. So the pretty even match. There's 20K between them. So coach or cheerleader, what do you want? But aside from that, I mean, they're playing even.
This is going to be a crazy. I actually wish this was the one on stream, to be completely honest with you. But
This would be a really good one.
this will be a
good
very
match.
good one to watch.
Yeah.
That all being said, I think the Polypore Pipers are going to squeak it by a TD.
Yeah.
I'm begging the Skulkers.
Did you see what I did there?
I got
I
it.
see what
I
you
heard
did
you.
Did you get it?
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, thank you. I was waiting for someone. Oh no!
Oh no, not the crickets.
Aw.
I'm begging the Skulkers. Please pull an upset.
Oh, you scared?
No, no. Yes, I don't
You
want to
scared
see
of
a
the
free
Pipers?
team.
Scared?
Oh, you don't want
Well,
you don't
first
want to
of
see
all-
Pipers.
I don't. Well, okay. Love Hillary as a coach.
You don't want women
Hey,
to succeed.
Okay, all right. Now
All right,
we're extrapolating.
Before I get canceled, when this was originally Joe's team, I tied him, and I don't win any of the. Currently, I'm not going to win any kind of like head-to-head tiebreaker because of a tie, because the casualty numbers are way better by like
Oh.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
So I really I don't mind if they get in. I just don't want them to tie me in points.
I see.
Which could still
Okay.
happen.
Okay.
But also, I want to see Chadwell get a win.
Yeah.
I do.
I think it's
And at this point, the rest of the season, it's upset time. So like, play loose, play fast, play fun, and piss off a couple people. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
Please.
only thing you do now is get your win and play Dream Breaker for everyone else. So
Yep.
yeah,
It's fun to watch.
I mean, I gotta go with my girl, but that's just me.
This is gonna be a good match.
No inducement, but the extra big guy.
And I gotta
Yeah.
go with my girl, Chadwell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's our girl.
Yeah.
Coaches are split.
A little bit of extra guard,
Yeah.
illusionists, couple extra linemen on the roster, a little bit weaker, but hey, I don't know. I like the gnomes in this matchup a little more, I think.
I agree. I'm leaning towards gnomes. I don't think it's gonna be probably not gonna be a blowout either way. I can't see it like being a heavy sweep.
No, it's gonna be
or
wild.
yeah, it's gonna be wild. It's either going to be it's gonna be fast. Most of these coaches like to play fast and loose.
Mhm.
They like to see, hey, let's say we play this game on fast forward, and
Yeah.
that's so it is going to either result in like very low numbers scoring CAS-wise or some catastrophically high numbers.
Mhm. Yeah, there's gonna be gutter runners all over the place, foxes running all over the place.
Mhm.
It'll be good stuff. All right, Los Alamos Aliens play the New England Matriarchs. The Aliens are favored by a little over half a touchdown, and Aggie and Boomer say the Aliens are going to win. Lucifer says Matriarchs. Looks like the TV difference, the Matriarchs got to come in with 225.
Yeah, it was like sub 250, I think.
Yep.
Not the worst inducement difference I've had this season.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a hard time, new thrower, but he is missing a couple players. So are you. You're missing DMX, but he's just a lineman. You'll be fine.
I mainly hired that extra lineman earlier. I think it was it's been a month to avoid having a journeyman. So I had a miss next game. DMX was the fill-in. Then DMX missed next game, and the other guy came back. So like at some point, someone's getting fired unless someone gets injured. So
Yep.
it's just to avoid getting loner players on the squad.
Makes sense.
Smart.
I mean, having guard finally is gonna be nice. First time I get to play against Armor 8 since week 2, which I won. However, that match against Chadwell was very close to being a tie because fast. And I know we talked with Waters a couple weeks back about how the Amazons play, especially with their blitzers, and how deceptively fast they are. So I do think this is going to be a close one. It's a friendly, so in the long run, if I do end up losing, as long as it's not like a critical, like everybody dies, I don't think I'm going to be too stressed about that. But I want to put on a good game, so we're going to give it our all, and we'll just play aggressive and see what happens.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good game. I'm having played both of these coaches. I'm gonna give the nod to the Alice Aliens. Uh, it's gonna be close. It's gonna be both coaches know their teams pretty well by this point, and they are both solid coaches in general. And it's just going to be a good match. I'm leaning towards the Renegades.
I too am leading towards the aliens. I think they'll do it by 1.
That seems fair.
All right. Well, in that case, give me the matriarchs here, just to be contrarian.
I'm so different. He's so different.
Well, like
I'm taking the under.
All right. Well, the risk, obviously, with Renegades is the nega traits, right? And there's always bound to be one of those games where they just don't pop, and then you're just sitting with a bonehead, a really stupid, and an unchanneled fury minotaur, and you're just going, okay, go.
I am due for one.
Go score now, I guess. Yeah. So everything's possible.
Oh yeah.
But
absolutely.
Yep. All right. Dragons versus Dragonaires.
Man, now this is gonna be something to witness.
Absolute cinema.
Yeah.
Cinema.
Yep. 2 Dark Elf teams, really tight in TV, 55 difference. So Dragonaires coming.
Man, Butcher Bay's leveled the hell up, buddy.
Yep.
They're close though. Like this is.
Oh, they are. Like Coach Coyle over there said, it is a mirror match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like,
but slightly different.
It is slightly different. So the dragons come in with one runner, both witch elves. The Dragonaires come in with both runners, 1 witch elf. So you switch a runner for a witch elf, basically. Dragons are playing a more frenzy focused, possibly more disruptive defensive game, and it seems like the Dragonaires rely a little bit more on their offensive game, with the extra runner, the extra dump off, and a lot of skills on that runner as well, whereas a lot of the skills are condensed towards the witch elf on the dragons. So it's 2 philosophies essentially of the same team kind of going at it.
It's so cool. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this is the stream too. No offense.
Yeah.
Like this would be wild to watch.
Well,
I need every match to be streamed.
Yeah, every match, all the time.
If you pay for Cabal Vision North Red Zone, you can get all
of them.
Not
with 1 hour events.
Not region locked. No
blackout games.
No blackouts.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in a perfect world, we have every game on the channel going. But it's not just it's not a few person league. There's 14 of us, and there's one streaming and camera setup. But maybe one day.
We're slowly increasing production value, but give us some time. Okay?
Yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe a general donation of like several $1,000.
Start a Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.
A small loan? No, I don't. We're not there.
No.
Small loan of $5.
Join our Patreon. There's nothing in it. We just need
your
money.
Don't sell shit we don't have.
We promise nothing. We just ask for money.
By popular request and all the comments of every video, we have decided every single one of us will be starting an OnlyFans.
Yes.
By popular demand.
All the OnlyFans is it's just pictures of our models' feet.
Yes.
Like just close-ups of the minis that we paint. Their feet.
All the turtle toes I got.
All the turtle toes.
Turtletoes.net.
Oh my god. Okay. I think there's this game is I think going to be great.
Dragons by 1 next.
Yeah. I mean, Dragons are favored all across the board by a touchdown. I think it's closer than that. I think match. Dragons maybe still pull it out because of the experience, but
I agree. I think it's going to be the deciding factor is going to be the experience of the coaches.
Yep.
I think it's going to be probably the biggest deciding factor.
The experience plus Nuffle's influence. It just depends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dragonair is going to fight it to the end. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, this will be a good one. All right, Liz's with attitude versus the Mighty Rats. Liz's win and you're in. Rats lose, you may not be in. I don't know if it eliminates you, but it makes it very, very difficult.
If he loses, but then beats me the following week,
yeah,
there's a chance.
There's still a chance. Yeah, it's
there's
not
still a chance.
It's not the curtain
because they'd
call.
be at 8.
Yeah, this week's not the curtain call, but it's getting dire. I think tie might even hurt you worse.
Yeah, win, good, tie, ouch.
Yeah, because it's just 2 points you're leaving on the board. Anyway, the line is set to 0.68, favoring the Liz with attitude. The analysts are favoring the Lizzes, seeing as they've only dropped one game all season. What are you guys' thoughts? Looks like the TV is deadlocked. Not even enough to buy anything. 15K.
Liz is winning by 2.
Yep, I expected that.
I've always rooted for the Lizzes.
What about that undefeated claim, by the way?
You know, Brando did ruin my undefeated claim, but they just took a break. Now they're going to resume being undefeated.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
That is how it works.
Foot, meat, gas pedal.
So my 2 cents on just looking at this, I did knock out his Gekros, which I think is very critical for his game plan. He does get 2 Croc back, so that's pretty good.
Yep.
I know the last time they faced, I believe the Lizzes took a very early lead, but then it very quickly fell apart in the second half with a couple kickoff events and Skrunk doing Skrunk things. Skrunk isn't here anymore. He's got 3 gutter runners. 2 of them are leveled up a bit. So this should definitely be closer. And I expect Undheim to pull out all the bags of tricks in the bags to try and take the win here. But the ball's in Liz's court. They win and they're in. So
yeah. I mean, these teams have played each other. These exact teams have played each other. In fact, before. So season 3, Liz with attitude played the Mighty Rats. That ended, I think, a 3-1, or am I underselling it? Was it 4-1?
I'm gonna go look it up real quick, and
I believe it was a 4-1 to the Mighty Rats. So obviously,
they took the lead, and then the second half just fell apart.
Yeah, obviously this is a different team. They're both redrafts, but Undheim Mighty Rats' biggest player ever is their MVP, Skrunk Flint Reaver, a level 7 gutter runner, was the one who ran it up, and he had a knack for running up the score. He's not there, so that does change the landscape a little bit, but I mean, yeah,
4-1.
4-1, that's what I thought. So obviously different teams, but these two, we've seen this match before, and it went differently than what's being projected. But this season has been different than what we predicted. So this is another good one. A lot of these matches this week are insane. There's like 4 matches I would love to see on stream. Yeah. This Dragonairs, Skulkers, Pipers, and then obviously the one that we are going to end up seeing are all great candidates.
If you would like to hear, if you don't mind, I have the specific touchdown timings for their last meetup.
Yeah, go for it.
So last time they met, I believe Elizabeth got the ball, but they scored on turn 8 of the first half. Then the second half, Flint Reaver, turn 10, touchdown, Flint Reaver. Turn 12, touchdown, Flint Reaver. Turn 13, touchdown, Flint Reaver. Turn 15, touchdown, Flint Reaver.
And I believe was because of a timeout. So.
One of them was definitely from a timeout, and then I know they have their kicker still, but like a good, well-pinned kick. Like, Skrunk just skrunked on him. That was the big meme.
Yep.
Skrunk's not here anymore, but I'm curious if any of the other gutter runners can step up, because they still have, in my opinion, one of the most underrated players in the entire league, Dustbuster.
Stank.
Kick, block, claw. Like, he does work, and he's very tenured. I think he's been there since the season 2.
Yep, I think that's correct.
Yeah.
So, I It's a coin flip for me. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you who wins this. Wizards of Attitude have been on a streak, so maybe I give them the edge here, just because Flint Reaver's not there. And like you said, he scored on turn 8 last time, and it was looking like, 1-0, maybe 1-1. Maybe force an early score, maybe 2-1. So I think if you minus Flint River from the equation and run it back, maybe Lizards get it done this time.
Or a little bit closer. Yeah,
but it's tight. Yeah, it's super tight. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Well, you all won't see, but we'll see. And we'll talk. We'll talk about it next time on Wartscenter.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get to next time on Wartscenter, let's talk about the match that you will see. The SCLSU Mudclaws are bringing the big dogs in their house. The Khazad-dûm Dark Iron. The Khazad-dûm are not surprisingly favored by almost a touchdown, and the analysts are firm in their belief that the Dark Iron are going to pick up yet another divisional win and continue their campaign of excellence.
This is going to be real rough for our Mudclaws walking in without Mama.
Yeah.
But dwarves are slow, lizards are fast. So they got that going for them.
Yep.
If they can manage to outmaneuver, it is possible a tie. Otherwise, I don't see anyone but the Dark Iron winning this one.
So, yeah, I would agree with that. The Dark Iron are favored for obvious reasons. We've never seen lizards versus dwarves in our first 3 seasons. So this, especially with some of those playoff predictions,
this is unprecedented. Yes,
this is unprecedented, and this could be a preview of a potential championship match between another lizard team. For all we know, I know for the Mudclaws, for the Mudclaws specifically, they have to win this or they are out because they're so far down in the standings. So I expect them to pull out all the stops, be as aggressive as possible, and Khazad-dûm's positioning's pretty damn solid. But if you can crack open a couple lanes and you get your skinks going, it could outspeed them. But I wouldn't say that the Mudclaws are completely eliminated just yet.
Having spoken to the Mudclaws coach, we've talked extensively about this match and what we were expecting it to be. We both are accepting the fact that this match is going to be a slugfest. The Mudclaws coaches outright said what inducement he's going with for the match, because he fully understands, he knows my strategy and how my team functions. I know his strategy and how his team functions. So we're basically just gonna be, by his admission, I'm coming at you with a chainsaw and throwing a whole lot of 1-dies.
All right.
All right, we're here for it, buddy. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be a great stream. Then.
I mean, yeah, the Saurus has they have the strength advantage. The Skinks have the speed advantage. Dwarves have the unity though that can equalize that. So it's gonna be tight. Yeah, this one.
We're both looking forward to it. It's gonna be a fun match.
Yep. And then as far as playoff implications, like Khazad-dûm, their seed is on the line, so they're in, but they can secure a higher seed. I believe they secure the 1 seed with the win, and then the Mudclaws desperately, I think, need the win here to stay in. So stakes on both sides. One's feeling the stakes a little more though. So a little desperation, a little bit of Nuffle's guidance. Who knows what happens, But yeah, this is the match that you will see later today on Twitch over at twitch.tv/Dr. Coyle. And then if you missed it, no big deal. All the marquee matches end up right here on Cabal Vision North the following Wednesday. So that is our show. Is there anything that you guys have that you want to just get out there before we take off and go play some Blood Bowl?
Best of luck.
Have lots of fun, boys. It was nice to have a break and a vacation. Everybody had a wonderful end of year. But we back in it now, so button up your buttons, boys, because here we go.
It's time. Yep. So yeah, we had our happy. we had we
oh,
had.
wait, Whitey, I did have something.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, great. All right. Well, anyway,
Argument.
we boys, we have had our happy holidays, but playoff season is among us. No more happy, no more holidays, just Blood Bowl, baby. Let's go. This has been Wartscenter, and you guys have been awesome. We'll see you soon.
What?
Bye.